continent. I was the last on the docket, like saving the biggest circus act for the end. The coven of moral and ethical standards had already shunned me, tried to incarcerate me without a trial in Alcatraz, sent assassins when I'd escaped, and finally accepted a stalemate only when I threatened to go public with the fact that witches had their beginnings in demons, and I was the proof. The rescindment would become permanent after they replaced the missing member of the council and pardoned me for using black magic. At least that was the theory. As much as I needed to do this, I was so not looking forward to it. I'd been accused of being a black witch, of doing black magic and consorting with demons, both of which I did, whatever. That wasn't going to change, but if I couldn't pull this off, I'd be hiding out in the ever after for the rest of my life. Not only did I not particularly like demons, but I'd missed my brother's wedding, and he'd never let me live it down. I looked up, squinting into the oak tree as the familiar, almost ultrasonic whistle of a pixy cut through the drone of a mower. It was no surprise when Jenks darted out from behind the knee-high wall, going to meet Jamoke, one of his kids, coming in from sentry duty at the front of the church. "What's up, Jenks?" I called out as I grabbed my sunglasses, and the pixies angled toward me, still talking. "Black car at the curb," Jenks said, his hand on the hilt of his garden sword. "It's Trent." My adrenaline pulsed, and I almost jabbed the earpiece of my sunglasses into my eye as I put them on. "He's early!" I exclaimed, sitting up. Trent and I had had an appointment for me to annul his familiar mark, but that wasn't until 5. The curse wasn't ready yet, and the kitchen was a mess. Maybe he wanted to see the prep, afraid of what might be in it. Jamoke's wings hit a higher pitch when the front bell rang, and we all turned to the back of the church as if we could see through it to where Trent was standing on the front porch. The bell was one of those big farm bells with a pull, and the entire sleepy neighborhood could hear it. "Maybe he'll go away if we don't answer," I said, and Jenks rose, 60 feet in a mere second. In another second, he dropped back down. "He's coming around back," he said, his gold dust looking black through my sunglasses. Damn it, back to the turn. "Pix the sucker," I said, then waved my hand in negation when Jamoke clearly thought I was serious. The small pixie looked about 6, and he took everything literally. Jenks flew backwards as I twisted, yanking on the back of the chair until it slid forward and I could sit more upright. Maybe this was a last-ditch effort to get me to sign that lame-ass paper of his, guaranteeing my safety from the coven, but making me Trent's virtual slave in the process. Tomorrow I'd be on the West Coast, clearing my name and sliding completely out of his clutches. Either that, or he was avoiding Ivy, a distinct possibility. He knew she'd be here tonight, and his spies had probably told him she was out now. Jenks's wings clattered, and I flicked my gaze to his. "What do you want me to do, Rach?" he asked. "He's almost at the gate. My kids are mobbing him." My jaw clenched, and I forced it to relax. I had a nice silk blouse picked out to wear tonight, something professional and classy. And here I was in a bikini and with a dirty kitchen. "Let him come back," I finally said. "If this is about that paper of his, he can suck my toes and die." With a nod and a wing chirp for Jamoke to accompany him, Jenks and his son darted to the side of the church and the slate path there. I settled back, tilting my head so I could see the gate without looking obvious about it. Trent's voice, his beautiful, resonant, soothing, political voice, slipped over me even before he got to the gate, and I touched the braid that Jenks's kids had put my curly red flyaway hair in this morning. I hated that I liked his voice, but it was a familiar hatred, one that had lost its fire long ago. The wooden latch to the tall gate lifted, and my heart thumped as I took my sunglasses off. Eyes half closed, I pretended to be sleeping. Wreathed in pixie kids, Trent came into my garden, his motions both slow and irate. Clearly he was not liking the noisy winged escort. Keeping my expression bland, I took in his slim form. In the month since I'd last seen him, Trent had deepened his tan, and his baby-fine, almost translucent hair caught the dappled sun. Instead of his usual $1,000 suit,